Fan, short for fanatic, is the one who's screaming their lungs out in sub-zero degree temperatures, still believing when the chips are down, and never, ever giving up on their teams or their players. From the closest seat to the worst one, we want to meet you all. This is the American Fan.
What's going on, sports fans? It's Josh Williams back again with another episode of the American Fan 365 podcast. I am, of course, joined by the front row. Row is scrambling in after baby boy duty. What's going on, Row?
I'm the one that was late this morning, and I actually, in my story, I apologize to the both of you. I was driving my little one to his dad's, and I had to drop him off before I came into the studio. So, first of all, I'm already rushing in the morning and getting ready. And then my son decides to have a squabble with me because he wants a raccoon.
As a pet.
As a pet. And it became, and here's the thing about my boy, he doesn't ask for much. He asks for two things: Pokemon cards and Robux, so he can play Roblox. We watch raccoon memes and GIFs, GIFs together, or is it GIFs? Together.
I never know.
Clearly, I think it's GIFs. I've been corrected. Georgie, is it GIFs or GIFs?
GIFs.
It is GIFs. Okay.
No, see, I heard it's GIFs.
Whatever. I just go with it. Whatever someone says, I don't look at them all.
And because he thinks like they're like these like lovable things that pose, and because he's like, well, let's get a raccoon. I mean, it's summer break. I need to have some fun.
I don't ask you for anything. I just want a raccoon.
Meanwhile, he has 3 dogs at his dad's place. I've been like, do you want to go to golf camp? Do you want to do a soccer camp? Let's go swimming. I want a raccoon.
No, so I want vermin. I want vermin.
He wants rodentia.
I hate you.
Trash panda.
We cut to the bearded one in the the mustachioed one. She didn't even see it. She didn't even see it.
What?
Secret.
I knew you didn't see it because you didn't freak out when you came in.
So fucking like,
yeah.
You know why? You know why? You know what it is?
It's what's happening.
You know what it is? I hate being late because I think it's so disrespectful, and I respect everybody's time. You two, especially, but it's because I hate being late. I didn't even, I ran in and I'm like, I need a shot. What bet did you lose?
None. It's hot as a motherfucker outside.
Oh, that's
so,
why.
It's, you got to, and it's once a year, let it grow back into a stubble. I can pull off the Pablo look for a couple of days.
I mean, it's very
literally
Pablo.
a couple of days. Like, this will be way different next week.
Oh, do you get very hairy very quickly?
Oh, you know it, sister.
I hope you don't have a full bush. It'd be really hot.
Sorry,
Mrs. Williams.
Dead.
This episode is brought to you by Manscaped 3.0.
Oh, no. Yeah, on that note, the NBA draft was this past week. Ro, what do you think about Victor Wembanyama, Wemby? How good do you think he can be? What's your thought?
Well, listen, based on what we've seen of him, if you talk to anybody that's been in the NBA, that's recruited, that's been a scout for at least 20 years, they will tell you he's the best thing that they've seen since LeBron James. That seems to be the
consensus.
The consensus amongst them. Listen, I think the kid's going to do great, especially under Pop. That's what does it for me, because you can have a great talent, but if you aren't experienced and you're not a seasoned coach that doesn't understand how to work him into your current scheme and how that might look after free agency, then there's no point. I will tell you, this child looks fragile.
He looks fragile.
For
sure. I think for me, it's right to what you said. I think it's Pop. That already sets him up for so much more success than if he would have went to the Pacers or he would have went to some random team that doesn't have necessarily a culture. The one thing I will say that makes me nervous, with him being a little fragile, is he is a smaller guy, and also big guys. Those big guys, man, things could be looking great, and then they develop feet problems or knee problems, joint issues, lower joint issues. Those are my only things I would say. If they keep him on the wing more, I think that helps to alleviate some of those things, because if he's down in the paint and he's got to be bumping bodies, a whole lot, who knows?
I will tell you, the last player that was drafted that was that tall that, comes to my recent memory is Yao Ming, but Yao Ming was at least twice his girth.
Build. Well, Kristaps, I would say, is a little bit
closer.
But no, Kristaps is 7'4" as well, and he was skinny.
How tall is Yao Ming?
Yao Ming 7'6".
Yeah, but twice his size.
Oh, no. Yao Ming came in pretty sturdily built.
I'm not worried about knocking him over like a vase.
Fair.
But I'm not saying that to, I wish this young man all the luck in the world. I look at him, because I'm looking at him too from a mom's point of view. I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna, because I think of the big men on the court. I think of Joel Embiid. I think of
Giannis, and then also Jokic. You know what I mean? Just
absolutely,
in terms of
and
bigs.
even AD, even though he's fragile, if they're gonna play a game of chicken. If I was Wemby, I'd be taking that left, because I feel like he's gonna shatter. But again, I've seen only a few
clips,
moments, right? But what I will tell you, the thing that most scouts have said about him is he has a passover issue. He has a turnover issue. That seems to be his weakness, if there was one.
Okay, all right. George, what about you? What do you think about Wemby?
I just thought about Bam Adebayo and the way that he's going to absolutely body like a dude like Victor Wembanyama. He's just got such a target on his back. I think that's going to be the big thing with him. He better get on a nice little nutrition plan, like whatever Chet Holmgren did last year.
Whatever Zion Williamson is on, but half.
Yeah, Zion Williamson's on that fucking porn star.
But without the porn star, not that diet, the other diet.
French porn's exotic, so he would definitely do.
They're
something.
cooking them. They're covered in like a pig's bladder and steamed before they have sex.
What was that? Was that it was Family Guy, but it was English? Almost. There we are. There's English. Was English.
Cheerio, yes.
English porn.
Yeah. But he's definitely got a lot to prove, and it'll be interesting to see the way the Spurs use him. I don't see him being like a perimeter threat early on, like maybe a couple of shots a game they might allow him. But I think they're going to want him just down there to rebound and get nasty with it. I mean, he's going to have such a length advantage every single night. He's got to learn how to get tough.
Did you guys see? I'm sorry, Josh.
Oh, well, no, I think to your point, to both of you, I think honestly, the safest bet is for him to be a 3. I don't want him to be a 4 or a 5, because to your point, Bam is going to try to kill him, or one of the, Anthony Davis or Jokic. Those guys are going to be really trying to bully him. If he's on the wing, he then has a little bit more safety in terms of both the size advantage will be immense, but then also he wouldn't get the level of contact, I think.
Initially, this sounds very ignorant, but I don't mean it to be. As an American that watches American basketball exclusively, I don't watch the European leagues and I don't watch the Asian leagues.
Fair.
So I will tell you what I seem to have seen as an evolution in terms of strength from the European players. Giannis, of course, being the standout in that, right? And of course, Nikola and Luka.
Yeah.
So but there's a size differential that is huge to me. I am holding off I'm not going to make any predictions. I don't know. My biggest thing that I have saving him, not that he needs to be saved, but what I'm saying is going for him is that he has Pop, because Pop has been around the toughest players imaginable. He will tell him how to bob and weave when he needs to. Did you guys see that one image of him holding up the ball by the basket, literally like the basket's here and he's holding the ball right here, like his.
That's why it's have to jump.
That's why it's hard to believe that he would not play like a
low.
significant amount of time down low. I think he has that game in him, right, to be shifty out there. I just think he gets even more exposed by some of these faster guards, like especially defensively. He's just got to play hard. Like he's gonna have to work his ass off.
We'll see. Yeah, that's fair too.
Well,
that's fair too.
I'll tell you, like the 80s and 90s team would have killed him. Like there, it's just it would have been like a Lawrence Taylor going up against a Tony Romo. It just wouldn't be fair. But because of all the technical fouls that you get even by sneezing, he has a shot. But you know what? Congrats to him, and I really wish him the best of luck.
I love it. I love it. Did Michael Jordan do it again in his final draft as Charlotte Bobcats owner? They drafted, what was it, Brandon Miller? Mm-hmm. Brandon Miller out of Alabama.
Remember, he's a great shot.
Yeah, he's a shooter.
He's a shooter.
This is the second time that they've had the number 2. The last time they had the number 2 pick, they drafted Michael Kidd-Gilchrist when they could have drafted Bradley Beal or Damian Lillard. And this time they passed up on Scoot Henderson. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that this was a mistake?
No, I think he hedged his bets because first of all, I mean, I think, he's coming out of it. MJ's coming out of it with 3 Billy. So no matter how you look at it,
he's good.
He's good. He did it right before, like right there. So it's like because either way, people are going to say you're a genius. Think about this. Because if Miller shits the bed, right? Or if he does exceedingly well, even though people didn't want to take him on because they didn't have that belief in him, MJ looks like a genius. So he's the winner in all of this, hands down.
I think so as well. George, what do you think?
Yeah, he's a big winner. I mean, he will forever be the only owner that can smack the shit out of one of his players on national television twice and get away with it.
And everyone's that's Michael.
Hey, he definitely knows what he's doing. Like bro, I lost so much, and I love Malik Monk. I thought Malik Monk was tough.
Oh,
I would have took
Malik
my
Monk
fucking shit off immediately. Are you kidding me?
You think so?
I mean, okay, that's just me not being in the heat of battle.
Okay.
But
I agree.
He got smacked by the owner, bro. So, okay, but that's not like talking about what you asked me. He's, of course, the big winner. Michael will forever be a winner. Like, who gets away with that? That's assault.
Okay, all right.
Legit.
I will, because both of you lit up when I was like, you would take your stuff off? So
in national television,
I guess it's different. I guess in the reason that it's different is because Malik Monk has wanted to be Michael Jordan. So to have him as the owner, I think it had a different feel to it.
For sure, dude.
It was now if that would have been Joe Blow, white governor that they're calling themselves now in the NBA, it would have been a totally different feel, totally different look. But the fact that it was Michael Jordan, and I'm sure he made a boneheaded play. You know what I'm saying? And so it was like, boy, what you doing? You know what I mean? Like, It was like your uncle or your friend.
Like up against the back of the head.
Yeah. Bro, you made the face. What do you think? You would have been like, nigga? Like, what do you think?
I didn't say that. It's exactly what I thought. I mean, but yeah. Listen, but it's both of your points of view are so valid. The end of the day, though, it is about MJ walking away from this. The timing, it was his timing that made it impeccable because this is a no loss, no foul situation for MJ. Because they could tank, and he's like,
okay, God bless.
Thanks for the good times, y'all.
He does still own a minority stake. I don't know what that stake is, what percentage, I guess.
It's enough to keep him in those Canadian tuxedos for the rest of his life. And to keep the Michael Jordan cologne brand going.
Hey. Still, George doesn't understand how excited we were when Michael's cologne dropped.
Ew.
Bro?
What do you mean, bro?
What?
Ew.
The second one that
I
was
didn't
in the
smell
like,
the second one. I just smelled the
See?
first one.
No, I will.
There's
I will
a
wear
second
it.
edition?
Oh, it was good. It was good, baby. It was good. It was like Carolina Blue.
So,
Oh, wow.
it was
Good
like
packaging.
Oh yeah.
Good packaging.
Oh, it was good, bro.
Oh no.
That's okay. You know what? I'm gonna wear it the next time I see her, and I'm gonna see if she remembers. And then
You know what it's gonna smell like? It's gonna smell. It's gonna smell like pettiness, and I don't give a shit because I'm a billionaire.
It's gonna smell like winning. Is what it's gonna smell like.
I mean, that is true.
Now, okay, so how cool was it that the Twins? Now I don't know what order the Twins came.
23rd, 24th.
No. I mean,
There was
I'm
the Twins, but there's another set of brothers that went 23rd and 24th.
Yes, no, but this is the first set of twins that was top 5. But no, I mean in terms of their birth. Like if the oldest one came first again, or maybe the younger brother. Like I didn't research that, but I thought it was absolutely cool that they went to the Rockets and the Pistons back to back. Because is it
Asar and Amen.
The Thompson twins.
Asar,
like the group from the 80s.
Asar was actually not supposed to go until like 7. So he jumped up a couple slots, and and they were interviewing Amin, and and it was like, it's cool for him, but we're waiting to see the brother as well. And then they came right back. Now the brother's coming up. What did you think about that? Well, how would you feel, one, if you had twins, and then 2, that they went back to back row as a mom?
If I had twins, if I had more than one child, I'd run away. So I wouldn't know. I don't know how they would do. Hypothetically, let's say
one of them would have been at the fire station. I can't take 2. I can't take 2.
Listen, I will tell you, being a mom is the happiest thing in the world for me, and it saved me in so many ways. I don't know how people who have multiple children. I was in a heated debate with my son this morning about why he can't have a raccoon. I can't do, and he's 11, so he eats like he has 3 assholes. It literally, like, I mean, and now it's like, he's very much like, I don't know where he gets it from, but he's got a mouth on him. He's a very respectful child, but he's growing into his own, so he challenges me. Like, he wants to see how much he can push it with me. Listen to me, I'm Lebanese. I do not play. I will give you that death stare like my mama gave me. But he just looks at me. He's like, because he knows, like,
Do you beat him?
No, I don't.
Oh, well, this is the reason why the child isn't afraid.
He'll never be great.
No, my parents whipped the shit out of me, but I challenged my mom every inch of the way.
To an extent, till we knew the shoe was coming.
First of all, my mom backhanded me when I shushed her in front of my friends without even the ash on her cigarette moving. Let me explain something about Arab parents. There's no timeouts in the corner. I went to the grocery store. This is months ago, and I retell this story. I saw a young lady who was Caucasian, who told her mother to go fuck herself. Her mother she didn't even blink. She just kind of she looked so defeated, and she just kept on pushing the car. Let me tell you what would have happened if I told that to Sonia. She would have scalped me, went to the wine aisle, held my scalp up like Geronimo. Like, when I tell you, you don't do that with Arab parents. And so it's because I don't want that. I don't want my son. I believe in a healthy fear in of your parents, but that was my problem. I'm not scared of anybody. And my mom always said that. She's like, what scares me about you is you're not scared of anybody. And so I'd keep on pushing it,
even still.
My son is luckily he didn't grow up like I had to, so he doesn't. There isn't a certain thing that I had to have that he doesn't, which I'm glad that he doesn't. He just kind of was like, okay, because I know mommy's a big mush, because he'll come up to me and put his nose against mine and go boop, and I'm fine. So it's a different dynamic.
George, what about you? Have you the Cuban family? Did you get the beatings?
No. I didn't get the beatings. I just got to witness my family go legitimately crazy. I got kicked out of multiple sporting events. Not myself. I mean, it was just like uncle going crazy.
Dad your first
going
time?
Crazy. Like, there was so many times where it was just like, we never saw the second half of things. Like, I don't know how some of those games ended. Like, but that's sports fandom right there. Right there.
That's funny. Yes, I was beat.
Yeah.
No, I will not talk about it on wax.
You have before. We both have.
Oh, of course. No, I mean, listen. Yeah, Mom Dukes doesn't play.
No.
Dad beat me. He beat me a few times, but it was only the one time that it was real bad.
My dad only did it once. It's when we were living in Africa, and it was with a belt. And and when I tell you, I like, 'cause my father was a good cop. My mama,
Always bad cop. Mm-hmm. See, my parents would flip. Sometimes it would, like, they always, like, I never knew. It was always one or the other, and I knew in the moment who was who. Yeah. But you know what I mean? But you didn't know going into it.
Like, wait, you were on my side last
it was
week.
it was like Beverly Hills Cop. It was like Fast and Furious.
You were with me
a
last
cop?
week. Yeah. Now you against me, but
it's
anyway,
fine.
I'm not gonna give away too much because I know Mom watches the show. How did our teams do in the draft? George, how did the Celtics do?
So I just saw we picked up a kid from Tennessee.
Another
forward.
one.
Yeah, no, like, we love them balls, baby. We love them guys
All right,
that are going to
Grant
get
Williams.
into get into Jimmy Butler's face. We like that type of energy. And we got I think the thing with the Celtics, we didn't have a first round draft pick. We just had a second round pick. I think this was a part of us losing a lot a while ago. Mm-hmm. Whatever. Not a big fan of the NBA draft. Is it really only 2 rounds?
Yeah. It hasn't been more than 2 rounds.
Because people can't take more. It's like taking Dramamine and staying awake.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. Like, the rosters are smaller. Like,
yeah.
I just thought it was more than 2 rounds.
Well, it used to be like 7.
Really?
Like, back in the 80s, it was like the NFL draft. But it hasn't been more than 2 in
but what
at
happens
least
is
30 years.
the way they've picked up the slack is that free agency actually starts a lot sooner. So yes, they cut down the drafting days and amounts, but free agency goes into effect sooner and ends way longer. So
also guaranteed contracts, so players, there's not as much player movement. You know what I mean? I can't just cut you, because if I cut you, I got to pay you. So they take their drafting a little bit more serious. Well, I would say a lot more serious than just randomly throwing out a 7th round pick for Charles Oakley and it working out. No disrespect to Oak. Ro, how did your team do?
I don't know yet. Like, if you were to ask me how I were to grade it, and I took some notes last night when we were talking about what we would kind of go over. I would give it, I don't know. If you read the pundits, some of them are like, wow, you guys got to steal. Other people are like, nah. I'm going to rate us at a C. When in doubt, C out, right? And I'm going to tell you why. So here are our needs. This is what the notes that I kind of put down were our biggest needs in order were shooting, guard depth, and center depth. In shooting, we were 24th in 3-point shots. So we needed somebody that can not take these crazy shots and adjust and make up for the big men that weren't on point. I mean, LeBron did dick. I'm sorry. He like you guys. When I talk about my teams, I will take all bias out of it because I'm not. It's not a good conversation, right? So in terms of guard depth, it's like right now they had Austin Reeves that came up big for them, but now the Lakers would have to match once he goes into free agency, which is soon. They will have to match whatever offer Austin Reeves is given, but they're also at the risk of losing D'Angelo Russell. So now you take out those 2 gentlemen, there is a big potential issue with guard depth. And then center depth. I mean, besides Mo Bamba, like, you got AD, but aside from Mo, there's nobody providing that. So we had the 17th pick of the first round, which was our highest pick since we picked Lonzo Ball at number 2. I don't know that he'll be able to fulfill all, because you can't be everything to everybody. Magic Johnson was the last player in my mind that could check all those boxes legitimately. Now, we drafted Jalen Hood-Schifino at 17. Nothing that I've seen really made me excited, but again, I'm not a basketball scout. I don't know how we're going to fare. I think in terms of one of those three boxes, Ro, what need do you think he fulfills in those three? I would say guard depth. He is not a shooter. And in terms of center, I haven't seen him playing center effectively. So, and in round 2, we had 40th pick with Maxwell Lewis. I mean, what I do think is he will provide center depth, but we still have a shooting issue.
Yeah, 1,000%. And then also the gentleman that you drafted in the first round, he was like a streaky shooter. So
he's not a shooter, I
mean, and so that, because that was what I was like, well, that's what they need, and you know what I mean. So what I will say is, are you drafting? Did you all draft more? I guess looking more with an eye towards the future than drafting just for what tomorrow looks like.
We drafted the way we did because I don't think they're going to pick up Austin Reeves. What they're doing is freeing up money for Draymond Green.
Oh, we will get there for sure. My team drafted Victor Wembanyama's teammate, not him, Bilal Coulibaly, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. We made a trade. We made a draft day trade with the Pacers. He went 7. We had the 8th pick. We drafted Jarris Walker, which I was like, who? But then they made the move, and it was like, you know, it could go well, or it could be another one of those Wizards picks. So we'll see. Let's see, what else do we have? Let's switch over. I know we're going to talk a little bit about NBA free agency. George talked about the Celtics.
Okay, that's right, you did.
Yeah. I mean, there's just more, not part of the draft that the Celtics are.
We're about to talk about that. So, I hate my team being the Washington Wizards. We gave up. So since last week's episode when we were talking about, maybe Bradley Beal, we don't know, like literally 2 minutes after that, Bradley Beal is officially gone to the Suns. And then a few days after that, Kristaps Porzingis was traded to Georgia's Celtics for a bag of chips.
Yeah.
So we gave away 2 All-Stars and I think $90 million in cap space for a bag of bolts. And we helped build 2 more super teams while destroying our own. And this is what pain looks like as a sports fan.
Yeah, man. Like you guys are the vending machine of the NBA. Just whatever. What was it? Porzingis was A5 and he was worth nothing.
Yeah, but since when is Kristaps such a force of nature that the Celtics are making him out to be?
Well, that's everybody. I love it. I mean, but I agree with you. It's a load of shit.
Kristaps dropped 24 a game last year and had his best year had his best statistical year ever.
Well, he's not a bad player, but what I'm saying is you're making him out to be something that he's not. I actually think the Celtics are going to do worse this coming year.
Listen. Rudy Gobert got 5 ones from the Utah Jazz. 5.
I don't know.
I couldn't get 1 or anything else for an all-star that's about to make $40 to $50 million a year. Like, yeah, I'm upset. But I will say, later on that day, after me being upset, Ro texted me like, "Did you see Chris Paul got traded to the Warriors?" And Chris Paul came in the Bradley Beal trade, and I was like, that's a horrible trade for the Warriors. And then I thought about it. I was like, wait, does that mean I got Jordan Poole? And I got excited for 5 minutes, George. And then later on that day, I had indigestion because I realized Jordan Poole's on my team, and I'd have to witness him drop 30 bad shots a game.
Jordan Poole is hot trash.
I won't go that far.
When he's good, he's Steph good.
No, when he's only good because he had Draymond Green, he had Klay Thompson, he had Steph around him, and he had Andrew Wiggins.
There's that part.
But that's his style is like chucking up outrageous shit from outside. Sometimes he gets hot, and then like you see him on ESPN.
Yeah, but I could do the same thing. I could chuck it. Like, I'll get one once in a while.
Hey, the Wizards will be more than welcome to have you.
I don't want them though.
At this point, they're welcome to have any of the three of us. It's anyway. But was there any other trades that you guys saw that made you excited?
Well, I'm. This is what I'm watching for. I'm watching to see if and where Dame goes. I think that is going to be a major shift for any team that gets him. I see conflicting stuff every day via social media. The last was that Dame didn't want to leave Portland. From what I understand, the Heat are preparing to make him a pretty sizable offer. Do I think that's going to shift it for them? 1,000,000%. If you were to ask me what team do I think, aside from the Heat, would be absolute fucking contenders for the ring if they got Dame Lillard, it's the New York Knicks.
Oh, all right. Continue.
I do, but do you not agree?
Listen, it's just interesting to hear you say that.
I take my bias out of it when I'm if I
You do pretty well with that.
So I think if you were to ask me who needs him the most are the Knicks. Who do I think will probably get him? I feel like he's going to stay in Portland. I don't think he's going nowhere.
I think so too. I mean, it would really take a significant shift, or it could literally happen as fast as that Bradley Beal deal happened, where it was like boom, Beal's here and then Beal gone, and like
he gone
48 hours. I was like, what just happened?
And CP3.
Yeah. That was fast for him as well. So we'll see. What do you think, George?
I was wondering what you guys think about. Does CP3 come off the bench this next year? Because when I look at their lineup, I'm like, it's an ego hit, obviously. Like, all those old vets, they might not want to play that role, but what a liability to have Steph Curry and Chris Paul on the court at the same time defensively. Like, that's a nightmare.
Yeah. I think you're completely right, and it would be a smart move. Now, granted, that's a very expensive move. It's similar to what the Heat did towards the end of the season with Kyle Lowry.
Yep.
But it won, and they need to get something out of Kuminga. They got to start to use their youth, and so at some point, these boys need to be playing more minutes or more substantial minutes. If he did that, yeah, I mean, it keeps him healthy, or at least you hope.
Yeah, I just think it's the best for the team. I mean, Steve Kerr is pulling his fucking hair out a little bit. It's like, it's a good problem to have, but it's a problem. And I mean, if we're going to be quite honest, and I don't think Chris Paul would go to this length, but it could be said, like, you don't think I'm as good as Steph Curry? And then there's going to be some real soul searching where it's you are nowhere near that.
That's
man.
a hard truth. I mean, let me ask you guys something.
Pull that clip up with him crossing Chris Paul to death.
Oh shit! I forgot about
that. I like Chris Paul. Okay,
so you love Chris. You talk about Chris. You do have an affinity for Chris Paul for sure.
I do. I don't care. But I'm honest about what he can and can't produce.
that you are as well.
I will. So, question for the both of you. Notice I didn't say use. I'm working on it. Do you think that what's going to happen with the curious case of James Harden?
Oh, well, I guess that would be a free agency question. I didn't even put him down because he did Harden opt in?
He's expected to sign into free agency.
So he's gonna decline. Okay, all right. I mean,
with Doc Rivers gone.
Yeah, it literally comes down to what does he want? Does he want to win, or does he want to, pat his pockets one last time?
He wants a lot of money.
And he really shouldn't. I mean, he's made a lot of money. James Harden has made $400 million.
I think he's asking for a 1 year, it's $35 million.
Yeah, that's fair. That's not
so you think so right now for where James Harden is in his career?
Yeah,
I would say maybe if you took bits of the last playoff series, because remember I'd come in here and saying this is vintage OKC Harden.
Yeah. Definitely Rockets Harden for sure.
Well, and Sun Devils too.
Yeah.
So I will tell you that, I mean, we've talked about this, but that him going back to Houston is a big possibility.
I hope not, because they're making such a youth movement that would take them backwards, because James Harden coming means now Jalen Green doesn't touch the ball as much. Now that means the Thompson kid doesn't touch the ball as much. They have 3 young players, and I feel like they have a young big as well. Like, they got to let them play. You can't, you know what I mean? It would be even, and then it starts messing with your cap. Like, that would be a dumb move from Houston. Now, James would be great.
I actually think he's going to stay with the Sixers, and I'll tell you why. Because the coach that they brought in has been with James. They're very good friends. I think that he's going to let James Harden make a lot of decisions, which is going to build up his confidence to make him feel like he's a vested part of the team. So I don't think he's leaving.
What about you, George?
Yeah, he's not leaving. I think
he's going to stay.
Yeah, I think Doc leaving, as you stated earlier, is probably like the main reason. He's loved out there. I think he likes this role a lot more than, like, it's got to wear on you taking as many shots a game as he was with Houston. Like, I don't think players can play at that type of level for an extended period of time. His window's over in that regard. But his new role with the Sixers works. You know, when he's hitting shots and not missing against the Celtics. Hey, yo, thanks for fucking choking. I appreciate it. But
oh my god,
hey, the man.
How'd you guys do with the Heat? I forgot. How'd that game 7 go?
Here we go. Hey,
we took it.
The fact,
we got swept, so I'm not listening. But
you have not a toenail to stand on, and
we got further. We got further.
No. Who got
was it the same? Oh, that's right.
No,
we got swept.
Same round.
I take it back.
Same round. All right, we're coming towards the end of the show, so we'll go through NBA free agency pretty quick. It's not a huge year in free agency in the NBA. Is Draymond Green worth max money? George, yes or no?
No.
1,000% no. Ro?
You know what Stephen A. Smith did? He pulled the greatest move aside from being his agent publicly, which baffles me, and had the balls to go on air and say that Draymond Green is worth $100 million.
$100 million.
$100 million?
There is not one universe out there, with this being one of them included, that Draymond Green is worth $100 million. I don't care if you stretch that over 15 years. He
is absolutely a difference maker on the court. Me saying this is ludicrous does not mean that he shifts games, okay? Just like Aaron Donald being on the field, because you have to have at least 2 men cover him. He changes the dynamic of the game. He gets you all riled up. He does dirty shit, and Steph lets him cook, okay? So they know what he is, and he's very effective at it. Okay, he wasn't against the Lakers, but he might be a Laker, because last week, and I have a love-hate relationship with LeBron, but let me tell you something. I used to really like Draymond Green. I do not like Draymond Green. I haven't for a minute. I do not. Do I think he's going to help the Lakers? I think LeBron is going to do everything he can, because he got embarrassed. He got straight embarrassed, okay? He's going to do everything he can to assemble and bring in whomever he thinks is going to get him that chip, okay? Draymond Green would absolutely contribute to it. So last we saw, they were both in the south of France together. I think he is going to go to the Lakers, and it's one of those things where I grudgingly will have to accept it. And when they win a chip, I'll be happy about it. Does it change my mind about Draymond? Listen, championships erase a lot of bad memories. Alex Rodriguez being a really main example, right? So I don't know. I have very, very mixed emotions about it.
Dead salary cap hits change a lot of emotions too.
First of all, I don't even know if I think the next time we actually can pick under 50 is like in 50 years.
Yeah, I was shocked that you guys even had a pick, but that's neither here nor there. Derrick Rose, where do we want him to go? I personally
retirement.
I personally would love to see D Rose go back to Chicago. They need a point guard. D Rose, when he had the opportunity to play this season with the Knicks, still out there incendiary athlete, very fast.
I disagree.
I mean, look, the Lonzo Ball, they're saying that he isn't going to play again
Nope,
next
he's out
year.
next year.
If you bring D Rose back on a mid-level exception money or vet minimum, and you can get minutes off of him, it would be a great story. That's just.
He's going to get injured within the first 5 games, number one. Number two, you got to give Caruso the most touches he can possibly get on a ball. That's how Chicago has been when they did win games. Absolutely not. Derrick Rose is oh my God. But this isn't I love D Rose. He just will not fare well. As a team, I'm not investing any money that's already played with the team to come back with the team to take. You talked about having a young team and making sure that these young cats.
They don't have a young team though.
Well, but they don't have like old people. They have people that are like mid-range that are capable, and let them build. You take that money and you build your team. You don't go for a chip next year or maybe the year after. You invest that money because D Rose ain't gonna come cheap. And he's gonna fall down the stairs somewhere.
No, I think he would. I think. I know he's not getting paid big money with the Knicks this year. Like I said, vet minimum. That's like $2-3 million. He's not getting a whole bunch of money. Yeah.
He's gonna get injured though. Like that's a given.
He hasn't been injured. He just for whatever reason Tibbs just didn't play him, and then whenever he did,
why not though?
Because Tibbs is weird. Tibbs is weird. He was weird. Like the same reason he didn't play Obi Toppin in the starting lineup.
It's because he didn't want him to get hurt. That's why, Josh.
I think that's a little overblown at this point. He at this point, he hasn't been as hurt over the last
You're
few
saying
years.
he hasn't played as much, so he hasn't been hurt. There's a direct correlation.
No. Just Denups, did not play. He was perfectly healthy.
If I sat on the bench, I'm not getting injured either.
Well, that's fair. Khris Middleton, where do we think he'll go? George, where do you think Khris Middleton will go?
Oh, wow.
He opted out of his, I think it was like $40 million.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. This is, let me just pick someplace fun. Khris Middleton's going to end up playing with KD down in Phoenix.
There is no more money in the desert. I can assure you of that.
Fuck,
The
okay.
4 players, the 4 that they have, in the starting lineup, $164 million.
They're all going to run it back.
Next season.
They're all going to run it back. They're all going back.
There is not a penny to put into a vending machine in Phoenix.
Not a one.
Well,
somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, someplace like Houston, maybe.
No, they're all going to run it back.
Maybe the
they're all going
Spurs.
back.
You think he's going to go back to the Bucks?
I think him. I think Brook Lopez. I think Giannis. They're all going back.
Without Bood too.
They're all going back.
That is interesting with the whole coach switch thing. I wonder how tied they were with him.
Oh, Giannis is happy to see him go. At first, I thought it was the opposite, but it was. I guess Giannis. It didn't. I don't know if it came out before or after they got embarrassed. However, I thought they had a great relationship. Apparently, that wasn't the case.
Oh wow. Okay, that's new news because I thought the same. I didn't realize that at all. All right.
I think they're all going to run it back.
Okay. All right. I mean, for me, I don't know. I guess to George's point, I think he would be good going to like being that vet on a young team. So you said the Rockets. Orlando makes sense. Like some place where there's money to pay him, but then he could be a little bit more of a A1 star there. Maybe not necessarily the star, but he's getting paid like one. My thought. Fred VanVleet, where do we think Fred will go? Because there's been talk about him going to your Lakers. Which again, I don't know.
Draymond's going to decide that.
Draymond decided a lot on his podcast this year.
Draymond's going to decide that because LeBron, when he recruits you, he makes it very obvious. Okay. And so there's 2 factors about VanVleet going to the Lakers. It's Austin Reeves and it's Draymond Green. Now, for them to obtain Draymond Green, they're not going to sign Austin Reeves at $30 million. So you're going to have to make that decision. So if that happens, then no, he's not coming to the Lakers. What?
I'll end the show with that. That's actually pretty good.
What?
No. I just got an alert about Asia Wilson. You mentioned Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura. They're both restricted free agents. Where do you think Austin Reeves is going to go? And do you think you can re-sign 1, 2, or none of them?
Possibly Rui. Not Austin if we want Draymond.
I love it. That's good. George, what about you?
As far as
Austin Reeves or Rui Hachimura being restricted free agents?
keep Rui and let Austin get paid.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my take. One, by the way, I found a team to house all these free agents that nobody's talking about, but they could quite possibly make it to NBA Finals next year. Is the Sacramento Kings?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a really good spot.
I don't think the Kings really need anybody.
They need big depth.
Yeah.
They need, because remember when Sabonis got in foul trouble, they had like nothing for the
You're
Warriors.
right.
They
You're
need
right.
another big if they
You're
could
right.
get it.
Khris Middleton fits that
Yeah.
system very well.
Yes, he does.
That'd be a great placement.
That's a good spot, especially if Harrison Barnes comes out of there, because Harrison Barnes was a free agent as well.
Yep. Just replace another lengthy wing with another lengthy wing.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good spot. For me, I think Austin Reeves, I've been saying this, I think he goes to the Orlando Magic. It makes sense. Even though Orlando, they did draft a guard, I saw, or
the Pelicans, depending on what happens to Zion.
Well, the Pelicans, I don't know if they have the money, because they have a few different guys that already have been paid. Zion's been paid. Brandon Ingram's making $30 million or so.
I think they'd have enough to bring on Austin.
Another $30 million, you think they get?
I think for a multi-year deal that they can finagle maybe. But I don't know that Austin wants to go to a super team. I think that maybe for him it's a team that he can build.
Okay. All right. Well, before we get out, some late breaking news just hit my phone. Don't come for Asia Wilson. So the WNBA All-Star rejected Mikal Bridges' advances to attend Aces games, and said, quote, "Please leave me alone."
I saw that this morning.
I'm lost as a motherfucker.
Apparently, Mikal Bridges has been trying to go to Aces games.
Mikal Bridges. Oh, I thought you said Michaela Bridges.
No, Mikal Bridges. That's another story for another day.
I said that this morning.
Yeah. It literally just hit my phone.
I'm like, is it something exciting? We didn't even get to talk about MLB. I'm so bummed.
I'll have to wear a baseball jersey again next week, and we'll start the show with MLB. There won't be as much to talk about as far as NBA. But thank you guys so much for watching another episode of the American Fan 365 podcast. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. From Josh Williams.
And the front row.
And the mustachio one in the back.
Later, peeps.
See you guys next
time. Thank you.
Fan, short for fanatic, is the one who's screaming their lungs out in sub-0 degree temperatures, still believing when the chips are down, and never, ever giving up on their teams or their players. From the closest seat to the worst one, we want to meet you all. This is the American Fan.